And welcome to the Dang Show, your place for everything drawing, animation, nerds, and gaming. I'm your host, Pierre, and I'm here with my co-host, his new co-host today, Aquil, man. How you been?
What's good? I'm good. How's it going?
So, little introduction. Met Aquil at the job, man. We became like best friends when it came to Marvel stuff, when it came to comic book stuff, when it came to Ninja Turtle stuff. We definitely, be vibing. We be coming up with scenarios for movies and characters and that. And since then, man, we just been, best buds when it comes to this anime, comic book, anything stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
So I hopefully that was a good intro for you, man. But if you got anything you want to tell the
Yeah.
people, what would you like to tell the people?
Oh man, yo, I'm just real amped and psyched about the new Avengers that's coming out. Like I've been, following all things Marvel, all things, what I'm saying, like comic book period. So we got a lot of new action films coming out. Everybody has their own skeptics and everybody has their own opinions on, like with the new trailers that just dropped. So like, yo, I'm just like excited about the whole thing. I already got my tickets for
Yeah.
Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's going to be lit. So I already got my tickets for that one.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I'm waiting to see that. And then yeah, man, I already got my tickets for Doomsday. Like Doomsday was selling out like the moment the trailer dropped. So
Right. I didn't even
like
know they put
people,
them out. Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
even know they
like
put it out.
I didn't either. I just happened to show the missus. I was like, let me see like, what the pre-sales are for these. Like before I knew it, like the the prime time, which usually is like 7 o'clock or whatever, the
Yeah.
only seats that were available were the front rows. I was like, what? So I had to get a matinee, which I don't mind. I'll watch it early in the
Right.
day.
Right.
So I'm excited for that. And I only watch Marvel movies in 40x. I want to feel like
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
in the movie. You get
Man, I
the
don't know how I
water
feel.
and all.
I don't know how I feel about that, man. I mean, look.
Yeah. Yo,
I
it's an
mean, look.
experience.
It's like a roller coaster, not a roller coaster, but like a theme park,
Yeah, it
ride almost. Like,
literally.
yeah. I don't know,
Literally.
man. I mean, I feel like I just like to watch my movie with good sound and good like visuals. I don't think
Hey,
I need the
it's all
whole
good.
chair moving and like wind in my face. If somebody burp, I can smell something. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, I mean,
That's what's up, man.
look. Let's start off with Spider-Man, man. How you feeling about Spider-Man, man?
So this is actually I'm glad that the storyline itself, what they did with the whole movie, because now they put Tom Holland in a position where like he's so stressed out that he has to like literally, like, what I'm saying, like he has so much going on since the last time he was Spider-Man. So, everything from losing his Aunt May to like now he had the whole world had to forget about him. So he has a lot going on him. And like now what I like in the storyline is that they put him in a position where, he is super stressed to the point where like now he's like, growing, like, he got his DNA is like out of control. So, it's pretty dope, man. Like, it almost like they gave him like if you're familiar with like, the Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, they
Right.
almost gave him like, that type of feel to it. And I love the fact that they involved the Punisher. Like,
Okay.
I definitely was a big fan. I always watched between him and Daredevil. I was a follower of the Daredevil series. So I'm glad that Marvel is like incorporating the series characters in with the like the box office characters. So that's pretty dope. And love seeing it. And like what I'm really hyped for is that they're finally letting my boy Hulk come back, babe.
Mhm. Okay.
Aggressive
Okay.
Hulk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not that like smart Hulk. Like I'm an aggressive Hulk, so I'm anxious to see how that's going to turn out. So I'm
Okay. I
hyped for
mean,
it. I'm hyped for it. I'm there for it.
I know, right? I mean, look, I ain't get my tickets until August the 1st because once again, it wasn't notifying me. I have AMC Stubs pass, so I pay like one amount, like I pay like $25 a month. and I get to watch
Right.
4 movies a week, and
Yeah.
I could just get a free movie anytime. So I just pay that $25, and I'm good for the rest of the whole month to watch any movie to come out. But they didn't
Yeah.
notify me that Spider-Man was on sale. I'm like, yo, what's going on? How you not tell me Spider-Man it was on
It's
sale? Like, come
wait,
on,
wait
bro.
to the and try to wait to the last minute, and then like stuff
Right.
gets sold out and everything.
I seen it online. I was like, what? They was like, tickets almost gone. I was like, what are you talking about? So I ended up getting on the 20th plus. I mean, that's when I'll be able to see it with my lady because
Right.
she work on Saturday and then I work on Friday. Now I ain't got no problem watching it in the matinee I work Friday night. I watch it over and
Mm,
over again. I got free
yeah.
movies all month. You know,
Right. Right.
I
Right.
kind of don't like that they put it at the end of the month, but I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
is what it is. I got next month to watch it over and over again. But August the
Right.
1st is when I got mine. I mean, if y'all can't see, I'm
Hmm.
already I'm a big, huge Spider-Man fan. I rip
Yeah.
Spider-Man all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so me personally, look, I'm going on this new kick, man, because the way the Marvel Cinematic Universe been going and just movies in general, I just want to be like surprised and lower my expectations. So what I do is I just watch the first trailer and
Yeah.
that be it. I don't want to see nothing else.
You don't see nothing
Because
else.
sometimes they give out way too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
so I just like, look, man, it's not that I'm gonna be spoiled because I'm good with spoilers. If somebody spoils something, I'm gonna
Hmm.
still take it for what I
I'm
want to
sick.
see it
Yeah.
as. Right. But at the end of the day, I still want to be like pleasantly surprised for the first because my expectations started to get high. I started to start like since the Marvel Cinematic Universe phase 1 and 2. I used to like watch like podcasts like this, and I used to watch YouTube videos about it, and then all these people just start making speculations on what could happen and this could happen and that can happen. And I'll be like, man, y'all getting our expectations too high, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
enjoy the
Yeah.
movie for what it is.
Yo, it is
Try,
so
at least
many.
try. Yeah,
So many theories, so many theories. Everybody's like trying to
right,
yo, you see all the Easter eggs in the trailer, and
right. Like
I don't even
94.
be yeah, I don't even be looking at it that deep, and I'll be like, what? Like
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that. Okay, so
right. And
it
then
be
they'll go back to an old comic book and this character and that character, like people trying to guess who this Sadie Sink chick is, and I'm like, come on, there, like she might be
every,
Jean Grey, and I'm like,
right.
why can't we give you
Everybody want to
surprises in
be
Jean Grey, bro?
everybody want to be Sherlock Holmes when it comes to these
Right, they
trailers,
want to
yo.
be right.
Everybody want to be a
They want to be
detective,
right, right. So I mean, the thing I get regular general information, and then I just watch the first trailer, and then
right?
I take it from there. And I mean, I'll be excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna watch Spider Man. I mean, I'm obviously gonna watch it. But to me, I feel like Marvel hasn't really set up a lot for this new iteration for Spider Man to be pivotal in the MCU at the moment, which we're gonna talk about later about
Yeah.
how you feel about the MCU and the direction they're going. But right now, to me, I feel like they're just throwing a lot of people in there, and
Mm,
I'm like perplexed on why they putting these people in there. Like why they got the Hulk in there, why
mm,
they got the Hand in there, why they got
right.
Punisher. Now we know who Punisher is, but the way they set up Punisher isn't like let's throw him in a Spider-Man movie now. Like you get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
if anything, he will have his own movie or a movie with Daredevil or something like that, right? But
Right.
what's Spider Man got to do with him, right?
I see I see what you're talking about with that, because at first I thought that they was going to probably break out Daredevil in this one, because they teased him in the last iteration, No Way Home. I believe
Right. Mm-hmm.
they
He
introduced
was
Matt
a lawyer.
Murdock,
Yeah.
yeah, as his lawyer, stuff like that. So I'm like, if you're gonna tease him in it, like, what I'm saying, I thought, like, you're gonna go all in, let him like come in as Daredevil, like, now we all know that Daredevil, like, he just finished the season 3 with his
right.
series. So what I'm saying, like, it would have been like a good segue into that. I know Punisher was in that too, in which, like, again, I ain't mad at it. I just, like, what I'm saying, I think there'd be more of a common matchup or mashup with Spider-Man and Daredevil as opposed to Spider-Man and Punisher. Because like even in the comics and those comics, like, you know what I'm saying, they like Daredevil and Spider-Man like best of friends, you know what I'm saying? So
Right,
like, you
right.
know, that would have
I
been
mean,
like
they
a
in the
common
same
thing to
they in the
see.
same city. They in the same
Yeah,
city. Right. You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
And then like, you know, you got the Hand involved. Like, you know, Daredevil dealt with the Hand more so than Punisher. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah, I would have. It would have even made more sense if I saw if I saw Iron Fist, because you
Right,
know
right.
that's his those are his mortal enemies.
Well, see, that's the thing. This the thing is that this is where I'm perplexed. You know what I'm saying? Is that why would they put these elements in a Spider-Man movie? Because I wanted to be
Mm,
about Spider-Man, and it seemed like is like a bridge to a lot of other stuff that they're trying to do. Because at this point, you already had a Daredevil show, you already had a Punisher movie. The Hand could have been definitely introduced. Now let's just say the normal movie going person to go see Spider-Man ain't gonna know nothing about this. They ain't watching the Disney TV shows. Now I'm pretty sure you have watched the Daredevil show and you have watched the Punisher
mm,
show. Now,
mm.
geeks like us, we probably have. Me personally, I only seen the first Netflix version of Daredevil. I haven't watched the Disney version of Daredevil, and I haven't watched the Netflix version of the Punisher. I just
Mm.
know of the Punisher, right? But
Right, right, right.
the Hand, if the Hand has been established, how does this intertwine into the Marvel MCU and making Spider-Man your one of your biggest people? How is this relevant? You know what I'm saying, to Spider-Man?
Right. I think also that they wanted to, because the whole point was to overwhelm Spider-Man, like, you know, in the fashion that, okay, his DNA is out of whack and everything. Now, a lot of people have had the initial theories of, oh man, his DNA is out of whack and he's growing an organic web, like he might turn into
Mm-hmm.
man spider. You know what I'm saying? That was the initial theory, but that would have been kind of far fetched. Like, you know, I don't know if MCU was ready to go there with him. And then, like, you know, it would even made sense if they did like the Sinister Six. You know what I'm saying? But I think they weren't ready to involve the Sinister Six yet, because you don't have everybody from Sinister Six in there. So now you just add in the rest of these folks. I mean, you got, surprisingly, because they're gonna have Tombstone in there. I didn't see him in any of the previews, but Tombstone is supposed to be involved. You got Scorpion. Scorpion's in there. You know what I'm saying? Finally.
Yeah, finally, right?
But yeah, you didn't involve, like, you know, you got like Vulcan, you know, you need, you know, either Hobgoblin or Green Goblin, you know what I'm saying? You need Dr. Octopus, you know, like, and they didn't have all these characters ready. Like, you know,
Established,
they
right?
can't, yeah, they
Established
have
for this Spider-Man.
the MCU didn't have them ready to establish. Now what I like is that they did, from in the last movie No Way Home, like, you know, they brought in like the other version Spider-Man villains in it, and you probably could have did something with that, but I think it would have been confusing, because if you involve their villains, you got to involve the other two Spider-Mans as well. So I don't know, like, you know, how they're going to do it, or maybe they're just trying to lead up into, you know, bringing these villains in slowly, so they have to, like, all right, we can't bring in their Spider-Man's all his main villains in, so we got to like bring in these substitutes to get that overwhelming factor, to like see how he'll react to it. So that's my thought on it. That maybe they just need to bring in, like, you know, some of Daredevil's villains, some of, you know what I'm saying, like,
I
and
mean,
then
I
like,
feel like. Oh, go ahead. Go.
no, I was gonna say, like, and then like, you know, I can't explain why the Hulk come in now, only through the fact that, you know, because Peter was having trouble with his DNA,
Right.
and Bruce Banner is the specialist on that. That's the only reason I can think of to
I
involve
know, but
Hulk.
that
But
makes
yeah.
sense. That makes sense. But why don't you introduce a version of Kurt Connors or something like that? Basically, the Lizard. Why don't you? You know, I understand that Marvel is trying to integrate. All right, so this is. I mean, this might sound a little biased or a little
Mm-hmm.
haterized. You know what I'm saying? But I
Right,
ain't hating. Just to let you know, it's just logically, this is how my brain works. So back
right.
in the day, Sony needed Marvel, right? To make Spider-Man relevant, which, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man was already relevant, right? But they weren't doing what they wanted to do when it came to Spider-Man. The
Mm,
MCU was doing pretty well with their characters. So when Sony was approached by Marvel to integrate Spider-Man into their universe, they was like,
Right.
well, we gonna get Spider-Man up. So then, Spider-Man has been integrated in the Marvel MCU and it was done pretty good. It was done to a high level, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now the state of Marvel has been in flux, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the reason why they put all of these Marvel characters in there is because Spider-Man is guaranteed money now, right? It's guaranteed
Always.
audience. So then that means that, well, we need to get more eyes on these characters that's in the MCU that we're trying to push. And now they're doing the reverse of what Sony was doing when the MCU was at its peak. I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right,
Because
right.
they've been in a lot of flux. They've been in some hot water. They've been trying to figure out what they need to do when it comes to this new phase. Which that takes us to the topic I wanted to ask you about. Is
Mm-hmm.
that basically what was your thoughts about this phase of Marvel compared to the last phase?
The phase. So it's like it has its like pos- positives and negatives for me. I like the fact that because Marvel acquired both X-Men and Fantastic Four, that they're trying to intertwine them within the universe. What I kind of like have issues with that is the fact that it seems like they're just like kind of throwing these characters in, but they're not. It's not like it was like when the first phase of Marvel came out and you're introducing the Avengers. Everybody in the Avengers had their own film before you like put them all together and created the Avengers, right?
Right.
And that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the recipe for Marvel's success when introducing these characters. Like, what I'm saying? You gave them their own backstory, and now they're coming together as one to fight a bigger threat. And then like so after Endgame, it was like boom, all right, now what? So then you started this next phase post Endgame, and it seemed like it kind of was kind of falling off a little bit because like now it was like he was kind of like introducing and throwing heroes here and there in it, and there was like so many questions like what happened to like Vision. You know what I'm saying? It's like you put him in like,
Right.
WandaVision, and like we still to this day waiting on like
The white vision,
Vision
white
Wars,
vision.
Vision Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
why did we sweep him under the rug? What happened to? I mean, granted, I know Bucky and Falcon, like they had gotten to their own movies. Like Falcon became the new Cap, which was fine. Everybody was kind of hating on Falcon a little bit for him taking on the mantle. I didn't have a problem with him taking on the mantle. I mean, I think he did a good job. You know what I'm saying? Representing as
Okay.
Cap.
Let me tell you. Look, I don't have no issue either, but
Uh
I do
huh.
have expectations, right? I
Okay.
don't have no
Yeah. Yeah.
issues, but I do have expectations. I feel like the expectations that they put on to Sam Wilson's Captain America isn't as high as Steve Rogers. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so it's like he's not that important to me.
Mm,
Which
right.
there's ways to make him important. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Which I
Right.
mean, to me, I feel like they didn't display his importance. I mean, I'm not saying he's not important because he is Captain America, right? But I'm just saying they didn't display his importance in the subsequent movies,
The
the following movies that he needed to be a
right.
leader in. He needed to be putting together teams. He needed to be the cap, right? He needed to be the cap of
Right.
the group, but he wasn't portrayed as the cap of the group, which that's cool. I felt like the Bucky and Winter Soldier show was great. It was good. It introduced
Right. It was
that
really
new
good.
Captain America. They introduced the threat of people that had been outcast by the blip. They was doing a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It was pretty good. But that movie, bro, that movie was not doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And like again, I think it's like with the writing, right? Because
Yeah.
it probably would have made sense, like what I'm saying, if maybe if you kept Bucky and Falcon together, and they could have
Mm-hmm.
built off of that. Bucky left, you know what I'm saying? Now he's with these new Avengers. It's just a lot of missing like holes in
Right.
the like storyline itself. You know what I'm saying? So it got a lot of questions. And then also too, like Earth 616, right? We all like, that's the present Avengers Earth that we're in and stuff like that, right?
Right.
We always ask the question, what happened with at the end of Eternals, and like the daggone Celestials was about to start this insurgence, and you had this big ass hand sticking out of the earth,
Right.
and nobody
Mm-hmm.
addressed it until Captain America: Brave New World, and now like the hand, it's like, where the hell was this hand the whole
Yeah.
time? Nobody addressed that. Like it was like it is too obvious not to
Right.
address.
Right.
So
I
it
mean,
was
but they
like
look. Do you like the way they integrated that to be
I do. I mean,
animanium in this MCU universe now?
yeah. I do like how they integrate it, and like, yes, adamantium being added. Like, okay, now we're onto something. We're building into adding mutants, and Wolverine story and all that stuff. In which I hope that the MCU, when they introduce Wolverine, that they introduce him. Actually, I want them to introduce the mutants into their own lineup before they create an X-Men movie.
Okay.
The
So
so sort of like the
look, hold
same
up, hold up,
formula.
hold up. Save. Look, put the X-Men topic right there.
We're
You know
gonna
what I'm
put
saying?
that to the
Because
side, because
we
that's
gonna
gonna
come back to that, right? You
we're
know
gonna
what I'm
come back
saying?
to that.
Because
Yeah. Because
yeah,
that
put
that's
the
that's gonna be
X-Men
a whole
topic.
nother story. Yeah, that's a whole
Right,
nother.
right,
That's
right.
that's gonna be a whole
But
nother level right there.
right, right. So I mean, so I guess I ain't mean to derail you with the whole Captain America thing and
Nah,
the
yeah, it's
Falcon.
cool.
But basically, what I was saying is that this whole phase of Marvel compared to the last phase of Marvel, like I mean, you did
They
bring up
could have
some.
been.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it could have been better. Like, overall,
Mm-hmm.
like the way they introduced the first phase, like it could have been a lot better, like with post end game,
Yeah,
because what I'm saying, you had characters like Shang Chi, who was awesome, by the way. That was an awesome movie.
yeah, it was an awesome movie. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? He should have got a sequel before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, personally, I think he should have got a sequel before they just introduced him in the Doomsday again, because it's like there's a lot of gaps.
Exactly. There's a lot of gap.
And I think what threw everybody off too was, like, with a Black Panther and Chad passing, rest in peace with him.
Yeah,
And Shuri took over. Everybody had their own theories about her becoming taking on a Black Panther mantle and stuff like that. So it was like a little hit and miss. I do love the fact that Namor was involved and introduced into that
right.
lineup. I just think it could have went. I don't know. I think it could have been more to that, and I don't. I love how they introduced Namor, but I would have wanted to see him probably introduced elsewhere. Not that it was a great storyline with the rivalry between the Wakandans and the Talokans. I just, I don't know. I just think he was a little overpowering for them, almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about
Right.
Namor here. Like,
Right, right. I mean,
I would
no
have rather
more.
seen him
Let's just say
no
no
more,
more.
the more. I
They
would
say
have
they say
rather
his name would. Yeah.
I would have rather had seen him maybe be an op for Fantastic Four, because that thing,
Right, right.
I think they have a bigger rivalry than
Okay.
him and the Wakandans.
So I mean, look, I'm just gonna give my opinion about
Yeah, go ahead.
the Fantastic Four movie, right? So I didn't have no problem with the Fantastic Four movie. I just felt like it was way too late in the series if they wanted to do something.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And also the way that it was a great singular movie, right, by itself. I don't
right.
think that they integrate with this MCU. Like, you get what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's just a little bit. I just feel that a little bit. Now I ain't saying that Marvel ain't gonna do it, right? I'm just
hmm,
saying that they don't feel like they belong with this MCU. If that make any
yeah,
sense.
yeah. I get what you're saying. And then, first of all, I mean, I may sound a little biased because I'm a big That's like one of my favorite group affiliates,
Right, right,
Fantastic Four. I am a
mm,
Fantastic Four fan.
right.
I wanted them to be, I wanted them to get the respect and be introduced, you know what I'm saying, respectfully into the MCU. Like at that, because they're top tier. That was the Fantastic Four is what brought Marvel back when Stan Lee was about to give up on Marvel. Period. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He like when if you understand and know like Stan Lee
The
history and
history,
like
right.
with him like time after time where the comics wasn't hitting with like before then and like he was about to shut Marvel down. Period. Until what I'm saying like he tried one more time and the Fantastic Four like writing with him and Kirby and that brought it back.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Most definitely.
Fantastic Four should have got more respect, what I'm saying, coming into this universe.
Mm,
So I definitely agree with you with that when it comes to like the whole iteration, how they should have been brought in. And like, what I'm saying, they pretty much they're Doom's rivals for real. Like, what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
they should have been, that should have been, I don't know, maybe like, I like, their villain that was Galactus, you know what I'm saying? But like, I think that would have been a better segue for Doom instead when it came to bringing Doom in and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, but the writers to each his own.
I know, right? I
But
mean,
yeah, like they're
I
gonna
mean,
write what they're
look,
gonna write.
see, that's where my issue is deriving from, right? My issue is deriving from the writing and how they're not as cohesive as they used to be, right?
Right.
Because it's easier ways to do this, but it seemed like they're trying the hardest way to do it, right? It's like after Tony Stark died, there was a gap, a power gap, right? Why couldn't we just say that? Now I can't remember the timeline, but did Marvel own Fantastic Four after Endgame, or was it before Endgame? They owned the Fox
Mm, Um,
universe.
that's a good question. I want to say if the deal didn't go through or didn't go down until after before Endgame and Infinity Wars because it was a big announcement. I want to say I remember there was a big announcement and Disney bought out Fox
Okay.
and
Yeah, I remember
by them.
them buying out Fox. I just don't remember the timeline. So I was
Yeah,
thinking, hoping that you remember. But
yeah. I
let's
want to
just
say
say for the
it
sake
was
of
before then though. Yeah, I want to say it was before
right.
those movies came out.
For the lack of better information, I mean, let's just say they did own it, right?
Right.
So after Tony Stark died, there was a gap, right? And what they decide, I know it was 2020, and after Spider-Man No Way Home, they was setting up this multiverse universe, right? And this Black Widow movie was like slated to come out, but it just never put it out, right? And
That's
so
another thing I had issues with too. But yeah, that's a
yeah.
we'll hit that later.
So to me, I feel like yes, the movie wasn't bad, and they introduced her sister or whatever, and the Red Guardian. But I feel like they did way more building on that than they did anything else, which
Mhm.
to me is not like a good move because these like Black Widow was introduced in the Iron Man movie and she was never like a staple to the Avengers. She was, but she wasn't like she ain't had no big plot lines to be like we need Black Widow, right? No
Mhm.
offense to nobody who loves Black Widow, right? You know what I'm saying? No offense, but she wasn't a key contributor to what the stories that they were trying to tell about the Avengers that was going on until Endgame, right? Because she had to die for the stone, right? For the Soul Stone. So having her pass away in the movie, her sister could have definitely just popped up anywhere, just like she did in the first phase, right? And
Mhm.
it could have been a conflict between the Red Guardian and this new Captain America. I mean, I'm just saying that this is me just thinking of something to go
Yeah.
together, right? And I
Right.
was like, why y'all got a bunch of people writing? Which I know there was a writer strike, there was stuff going on, and I get it, but it's like y'all have done better jobs. Y'all track record has been better just integrating stuff as it comes. Because Spider Man was not on the table. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all threw them in on the table when y'all got a yes, right? So it's like, and
Mm-hmm.
that was integrated seamlessly. Black Panther wasn't even nowhere to be seen, but you integrated it perfectly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
so
So
why is there a problem now with this, right? So if
right.
I am, let's just say the 30th movie that it came out with, why do I feel like the Fantastic Four don't integrate with the MCU? I feel like
Right.
that's a problem, right?
Right. Like they gave you had to put them in their own like timeline, so to speak. Like, so I don't know if because Fantastic Four themselves, like they are, they're big in their own right. So like I don't know if they could even exist in the same timeline as Avengers because like, you got so many heroes in New York, yo. It's like New York should have no problems. It's like everybody in New York is covered.
Right,
So like yeah, you needed to like have their own timeline. And I want to say that like even when like what I'm saying how they integrated all those like the Avengers like perfectly and stuff like that, you could probably tell like with that the real writers or the writing as opposed to I don't know like they could have been using AI to like write the rest of this stuff because like some of it don't make sense when you look at it and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I want to say like yeah, like you had to probably integrate some of these timelines, and then the key thing too, because a lot of people is going to have questions, like especially if they don't watch certain things. Like if you watch Loki, Loki would be the key factor to understanding what's going on in the timeline wise because of the
right,
TVA.
right,
So like if you haven't watched Loki or whatnot, you ain't gonna know what's going on and like like
exactly.
where these
Hmm.
heroes coming from, where these villains coming from, and it's like a whole big thing. So definitely gotta watch Loki
Right,
to like understand like the timeline variance and like why the timeline is falling apart. There was actually I was watching a person's opinion on like for people that's trying to get ready for Doomsday, and like a lot of people always like it's like damn, like do I have to watch the whole like Marvel Cinematic Universe from Captain America like to all the way to what's out now, and
yeah,
no you don't, and
hmm,
no you don't. So they that would take forever and nobody got that time. So like he made a
right,
list. He was like, you want to go watch X-Men Days of Futures Past because that's when that timeline started messing up, because the X-Men would be involved in that. You definitely want to watch Deadpool 1 and 2 after that. And I try to figure out, well, I understand Deadpool's involvement, but Deadpool kind of like he has his own thing going on, but I can understand that a little bit. Then they say you want to watch Avengers Infinity War, you want to watch Endgame, and then you want to watch Loki, because then Loki, after Endgame, watching Loki explains where the timeline shifted after those events of the MCU with Endgame. And
right,
then from there you go into Shang-Chi, and then you go after Shang-Chi you watch Spider-Man No Way Home. And that's where also you had some timeline issues and Doctor Strange is
hmm,
involved, and that's when the whole forgetting his memory. Then you got Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness,
right.
and
That's
then
definitely important with the incursions.
that's
Yeah,
with the incursions, right? Exactly. So that's important to watch. And then they said Thor: Love and Thunder. Now I wanted to figure out, I was like, why Thor: Love and Thunder? I mean, I get it because Thor, what I'm saying,
Thor
that
is going to
with
be in the
that
Doomsday movie. Yeah,
he's
Thor
going to
is
be in the
going to
Doomsday
be.
Dude, but it's significantly that one because that's the one where he adopts his daughter from like
The Gore,
the god kill god
God,
the god killer, god butcher,
yeah,
and then like and then it's like some certain things going on in that. And then of course you want to watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever, of course, because both Namor and Shuri and Wakandans are going to be involved in that movie.
mm,
The Marvels is also another asterisk on you want to see that because there's incursions in that take place, and towards the end with what's her name, not Miss Marvel, black girl,
Photon, Photon,
yeah, Photon, she gets trapped in the X-Men's universe.
yeah,
So
mm.
that's another incursion you want to watch. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, because yeah, Deadpool
Well,
is
that's the
all in the
second Deadpool.
TVA.
Yeah, that's the second. No, that's
The
what
third one, that's
third Deadpool.
the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
because he's all involved with the TVA, and then they had Captain America: Brave New World after that. I'm not sure why
Yeah, I
that
wouldn't put
is
that
in
one on there.
there, but
I
I
wouldn't put
know
that
they
one on there
wanted.
because it don't have any universe stuff going on.
No, but it introduces Sam, and as him being the new Captain America, it also
I would
introduces Bucky
I would
a little
say
bit in
I
there.
would say watch the show before I say watch the movie.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, that would
Yeah.
probably make sense too. I think they did it though because it was more recent, and the fact that if you remember towards the end of that movie with
Yeah.
the big head dude,
Yeah.
he was talking about incursions.
The leader. The leader.
The leader, yeah, the leader. He was talking about the incursion, and then after that, they said we want to watch Thunderbolts. Of course, Thunderbolts introducing the
Yeah.
new Avengers. Then Fantastic
And then
Four,
Fantastic Four. Right. Yeah.
and then of course Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Even though Spider-Man is not going to be in Doomsday, but they said that I don't know. You want to
He'll be in the
watch it,
second one though. He'll be in the second one.
right?
Which
And
one
then
is that one
Avengers,
called? I can't
Secret
remember. I
Wars,
think it's Secret Wars. Yeah.
Secret Wars, yeah, and he'll be in that, and then Avengers: Doomsday. So like that was the shortcut to watching Doomsday
I mean, honestly,
to understand the incursions.
after you explain that to me, those movies do make sense when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the phase, right?
Yeah,
But
and the
I
incursions.
guess,
Explain the incursion.
yeah, I mean, it definitely it makes sense. So, I mean, if because I've seen all of them, of course, but
Yeah, same.
when I think about it, yes, those movies do show a cohesive timeline to this Doomsday movie. Because I really was thinking, like, who, what did they even build up to this Doomsday? Like, it doesn't make
Mm,
any sense to me, right? But it's like
right,
it's probably not even the crux. It's like to me, I feel like with Phase One, things were more integrated to be
right.
more important. And like they had a whole cohesive story in each movie to be like, well, this is headed towards Infinity War. Because
Mm,
when you think about all the movies, they were kind of pivotal to watch, except a couple of them, maybe one or two. But if you watch Ant-Man, they're talking about, the stuff that's going to occur in the last movie and in the game.
mm-hmm.
And then when even though you don't have to watch every Ant-Man, you can watch the Ant-Man movies, right? And
Right,
I feel like there's a lot more drop off when it comes to this phase, when it comes to being important to the main story. And I mean,
right.
of course, we can't omit the whole thing with Kang the Conqueror. And you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Like,
Yeah, we can't
like, how do
omit
you?
that, right?
You can't explain. It's like literally you can't explain that. Marvel would have to like I don't know. There was so many ideas on what can you do because it's like everybody's not going to forget what happened with King the Conqueror.
Right, right.
Like so it's like I mean even though like the person that played them is not involved with it anymore, there has to be some type of story, even if it was a brief storyline connection that
Right.
took place that transpired into now Doom is the focus,
Right. So if
It's-
you think about the last phase, right? You think about the last phase and you think Loki is basically the equivalent of what Doom was. I mean, not Doom, but Kang the Conqueror was, right? You thought he
yeah.
was going to be the big bag, right? You thought Loki was
Hmm.
going to be the big bag, but he wasn't. It ended up being Thanos, right? But it still was integrated a little bit better. And if they just gonna drop off Kang entirely, right? Which they have integrated it too much in the story of Loki and him being the guy who sits in the chair conducting the timelines, right?
Hmm.
So they integrated him too much into it to not have him involved in the Doomsday stuff, right? So I mean, like I said, you explaining that whole timeline to me, it does make sense. And I mean, I guess I would urge people to do the same if they really want to be, hype or ready to watch this new Doomsday movie. So I mean,
Hmm.
since we just segued into Doomsday, let's just talk about the Doomsday trailer. Do you want to talk about that? Like, I mean,
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, I watched it. I can admittedly say that I've watched that trailer maybe like 10 plus times because, like me, like I mean, first of all, it's awesome, and then number two,
mm,
I had a lot of questions because, especially from my old school knowledge of most of the characters, I'm like, unless Doom was God Emperor Doom, why or why is he this powerful? You know what I'm saying? To be able to stop
Look, that's why. Look,
Stormbreaker.
I was gonna ask you, bro. I was gonna ask you because
I
look,
was
you know way more than I do, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, the Doom I know was like, you know what I'm saying? He like, you know what I'm saying? He was like human just like the rest of them. Now I get it, like, you know, he was very smart. He was on like Tony Stark level smart. And of
Mm-hmm.
course he was on Doctor Strange smart level too. So like, you know, he understood mystic arts and like, you know, technology, and combine those two
Right.
together, you know, we got a powerful force. Now, you know, I like, you know what I'm saying? I probably have to read back or whatever, but like, I did not understand, like, you know, it's like, man, he was able, like, the Infinity Stones all combined and Thanos wielding them couldn't stop Stormbreaker. But you got this nigga
Right.
coming up in here with two fingers,
Two fingers, bro.
like talking about get out of here. Like, what? Like, that was crazy to me. And then I
I
still
mean,
have,
look, I don't think that was a good display of power, man. I
yeah,
feel like
like
that wasn't a good
that was,
display,
yeah.
man.
I was like, I got questions. I got a lot of questions with that one, because that I need some stuff, like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, did he get the power from the Beyonders already? Because yeah, I got questions with that one. B, that was crazy to me.
Yeah, that was yeah.
And then like, everybody, you're literally telling me like the people that we have, like, you got Fantastic Four, you maybe got a third of the X-Men. You don't even have all the X-Men.
We
You got a
got
third.
slim pickings,
You got a
bro.
slim
Slim
pickings.
pickings.
You know what I'm saying? And you got you got the new Avengers, or the Thunderbolts, who are, I want to say, not even, they're street, they trying to take us level stuff, and they're street level. They not, without Sentry, like, you not, this is not your valley. You know what I'm
This is
saying?
not
Like,
your lane,
it's
bro.
not
This is
your
not your
lane.
lane at
So
all.
they out of their lane with
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? You got Shuri, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't know if,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, Wakandans is gonna be able to do that
I
either.
mean, they haven't developed her enough to me. I
Nah,
mean,
she ain't ready.
as the Black Panther.
Right.
Like,
She ain't ready. She ain't ready either. Like, the only person that, like, the only people that could probably put up a real fight is the Fantastic Four. Like, honestly, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they
I mean,
I want to say they,
true, but honestly, that movie didn't really give a good display of them being like a tight unit of
right. They I mean, the only thing they did, like, they made like Sue like the strongest of them. I mean, which,
right.
okay, I understand, but she's strong, like, you know, but like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you making, like, you making little to no, like, power issues with Ben. You know,
Right.
you acting like Johnny can't have the power of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and Reed, like, the smartest duo on the planet. You know, like, my fear is, like, you know, how they downplayed Hulk's power. Is like my fear of how they're gonna downplay this group's power. You know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to everybody else.
I mean,
I don't want that.
they ain't gotta downplay it. We see it, bro. Like we see
Yeah.
it.
Like, we see, like, you know, like, I'm like, who is writing this stuff, man? Like, y'all need to stop
Right.
playing. Like, so, like, I see that,
You
and
got
then
a whole team of Black Widows, bro. You got a whole team of Black Widows and like five half Captain Americas, bro. I'm like,
right,
come on, dog. That ain't gonna work, bro.
exactly, and then speaking of Captain America, like, I don't think that's Cap. Like, you know, even though people was like, though, that's got to be Cap, because, you know, he was worthy. He got Munir. Let me tell you about Munir. Munir is a hoe.
It's a
Munir.
whole.
Right, Munir is, you could be worthy of Munir. Everybody had Munir, yo. Everybody had Munir, yo.
Right. Well, look.
Munir
All
is
right. Let me
not
bring
really a
up this
thing.
question too.
Uh huh.
Let me bring up this question. Doesn't Captain America get old in the MCU?
He did get old, but at the end of the end game, towards the end of the end game timeline, it also showed him, like, prior, before he got old, like, he went and pretty much messed up the timeline. Basically, he went somewhere to spend the life with Peggy and all that he wanted to have. And by him doing that, he screwed up some shit. So my theory
Okay.
is that Loki, because there was a preview in there where Loki was somewhere, and I believe he was in the house, Cap's house, and he was trying to get him. Now Loki pulled the young Captain America out of another timeline, and some, like, you know, that's the theory. Now,
Uh huh.
when the end of the preview of Doomsday, where Thor's like, it's not possible when he's a Cap, like, they're saying, what I'm saying, was it Cap? Was it another Cap Hydra? You know what I'm saying? Who also did like pick
What?
Immunity.
So you saying there's another timeline Cap?
Yeah. And the way Marvel's going with these timelines and incursions and theories is like, you could pull people from different timelines now. Everybody that's
But this doesn't
teamed
make
up
any
are from
sense though.
everybody that's teamed up are from different everybody that's teamed up from different Earths. Everybody's like literally from a different Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, why not? Why not pull a different
I
Captain
know, but
America who
why though?
it wasn't not purposely. Like, they would get like a evil Cap or whatever. Maybe
No,
they
I'm just
thought.
saying. I know not purposely, but I'm just saying like, what does that do for your? Like, this is my thing. I'm worried about because
Hmm.
my expectations aren't high. Because like I said, I ain't watched no trailer but this one. Right? I'm not gonna watch
Hmm.
any other trailer. I don't really know too much about it, but I'm just going off of what they gave me. Right? They
Hmm.
haven't given me enough to be like this multiverse stuff is out of control. They
A
haven't
little
given me
bit.
enough to even think that.
A
Right?
little
You get what
bit.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
so so
They
so now you're gonna bring all of these multiverse people in this one movie. It's kind of like, why though? Right? When if you would have had this going on like when Falcon and the Winter Soldier was popping up and then this Captain America showed up and it was a young Captain America, and I'm
hmm
like, what? Like, that's not our Captain America, because our Captain America is fucking old, right?
right.
Or
And Earth
it
616. If he
exactly.
hasn't if he
Then you
haven't
had
died yet.
right. So he's like, hold up, what's going on? Right?
Hmm.
And you got Bucky, instead of worrying about the new Avengers or the what were they called?
The Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts. Instead of worrying about that, they should have made a movie about Bucky. Bucky doing what he need to do so he can be the next Captain America, or at least fighting Captain America. And then these guys are his people, right? They can make old girl his person. They can make this person. So this is where the issue of Captain America is. So then when Captain America or Steve Rogers pops up at the end of this trailer, it makes me feel something like,
Hmm.
oh snapped. They done built up this whole situation with Steve, and now what Steve is this? We got all
Yeah.
these people fighting over Captain America's title, but this is Steve now. Like,
Right.
but this doesn't make me
Allegedly.
feel anything, right? Like, this doesn't make me feel anything about this Steve, right?
Right. Because it kind of throws me off, the fact that
Right.
he's
It's
just
either gonna be like you said,
calm
he's
with
not gonna
it.
be the real Steve, right? It's either gonna be like you said, he's not gonna be the real Steve, or he is the real Steve, and they ain't built up nothing about it, right? So it's gotta either be those two, because y'all gave me no choice but to think this now.
Right. And and it's Marvel's MO, you know what I'm saying? They give you crumbs. They give you crumbs of stuff and leave you thinking until you see the movie. So this is Marvel's MO. They'll do that for sure. Like, you got to make a 5-course meal out of these crumbs they're giving you. So it's like, everybody's having their theories. You ain't going to get enough. Like, they probably won't throw another preview for Doomsday in until probably November or something. You know what I'm saying? Close
Right,
to
right.
the opening.
I say don't do it. I say don't even do anything. After I watch this Spider-Man movie, if they ain't give me any type of semblance on what's going on, bro,
Yeah, in the
I'm gonna be
background.
like, I'm gonna just watch Doomsday, and it's gonna have to just be a movie to me, because
Yeah,
I have no excitement for it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's like
It's like
I'm gonna
like
see the people I thought that I was gonna see, and then I feel like people are not going to be excited, because you can't have your expectations up here from the first phase and then
mhm,
you be like, yo, I trust Marvel. This is what I was talking to one of my friends about before. Does the message still get there
mm,
even though the messenger isn't trustworthy?
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Just
exactly.
think about it, right? You know what I'm saying? The message still get there if the messenger isn't trustworthy, right? So
That's true.
the message they telling me, I trusted y'all, right? Now, what we end up talking about was like, look, man, I feel like if you want to break that whole saying down, you break the saying down by, look, you trust the person who's telling you that they gain some equity with you because they gave you the message. The message, you're gonna take it whichever way you're gonna take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the message is tied to the person, that's when the trust of the person comes into the message, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, we trust Marvel to make good movies that connect it. But
Mm-hmm.
since they're trying to give us this message that all this is connected, but we lost trust in you because the movies aren't showing us this, right? So, what message are you trying to tell us? Is that we'll watch it no matter what, or
That
that you make good stuff, right?
I think, yeah, I think it is like what you said the first time. We're gonna watch it no matter what because we it's Marvel. We love it. The downside is that like we just hope that it doesn't fall into the trap like DC did. You know what I'm saying? Because DC had the problem with like just throwing characters in their movies and like people trying to explain. You trying to figure out like how is this connected? Where did this come from? And then like they did the backstory afterwards, after the big event. You know what I'm saying? That's the same when they did what is it? And they did Justice League, where they did Batman and Superman, and then they did Justice League.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
like you try to figure out like when the hell did you meet Flash? Where what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's Green Lantern at? Well, like where did Aquaman come from and all that stuff, right? And it was after the big event already with Superman and Justice League. Then you want to give Flash his own movie. Now you want to give Aquaman his own movie, and
Right.
then it kind of fell apart. And so now they acquired what's his name? Was it David Gunn?
James Gunn.
James
James
Gunn.
Gunn.
James Gunn. They acquired James Gunn, and James Gunn has to rebuild from the bottom up now. So what he do? He came out with Superman. He had to redo another Superman, which was it's I mean,
It was man.
it
Man.
was mid. It was mid. Like what I'm saying. Supergirl. He did. I didn't even see Supergirl, but I heard it flopped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I did. I seen
I
Supergirl.
yeah, I don't know. Like it ain't look interesting from the previews to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna put it like this. I mean, because look, that goes perfectly in what I was gonna ask you next about the. I know we jumping from topic to topic,
Right.
but we going into the DC stuff now. So I was gonna ask you how you felt about the DC universe and this new universe, cinematic universe they got going on. And since you haven't watched Supergirl, I guess I give you my opinion about it, and then see if that makes any sense. Because look, I ain't gonna try to talk bad about it. It's a mid movie too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We seen Superman. It was mid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was James Gunn movie, but it was kind of mid, right?
Right.
So when it was entertaining when you watched it, right? The first Superman, when you first watched it, it was entertaining. But then you kind of start to think about it twice. You be like, this doesn't kind of
It doesn't
flow.
line
This
up
don't
with
make sense. Right,
yeah.
right. It doesn't really. It's not a good initial start for Superman if you want to talk about it. Because
Mm-hmm.
like, look, Superman is a powerful person. In this movie, he wasn't powerful most of the movie. The same thing with Supergirl. She was depowered the whole movie. So it kind of makes it like, why would you start with Superman if you know Superman is going, if you don't have a bigger threat enough for Superman or Supergirl to fight? Because everybody knows that Superman is Superman. We already know that he lost his mother and he lost his father.
We know the
We
backstory.
know that
Mm-hmm.
he goes to the Daily Planet. We
Mm-hmm.
know all of this stuff, right? So why start your movie off or your cinematic universe off with a Superman that's weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we already know all the struggles of Superman. We kind of need something bigger for Superman to face, and he needs to show better displays of power. Because I don't feel like you can build this cinematic universe off of Superman. I don't. I'm sorry, I'm not a big Superman fan, but I don't think you could build this universe off of Superman. Just like you can't say you would build the MCU off of the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't feel like they're good characters. They fit well.
I think they should have. Yeah, they should have followed the recipe like Marvel did. They probably would have had more success. Like, if you're gonna do that, cool. Superman would need his own movie. Batman needs his own
Mm-hmm.
movie. Flash needs his own movie. Wonder Woman needs her own movie. You know what I'm saying? Aquaman needed his own movie. And then, you know what I'm saying, a big threat came where now, you know what I'm saying, they're the guest stars in each other's film where they're coming together to take on this big threat. You needed to do it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that was the recipe, and you know what I'm saying,
Right.
that should have been followed, and it wasn't. So, like, that's why.
And look, I don't want you to get me wrong. I don't want you to get me wrong and think that I don't like it now.
Right.
Now, I feel like I feel like introducing your Superman with all these other characters was a good move, right? Because you
Hmm.
got, Mr. Terrific, you got Hawk
Yeah.
Girl, you got
Right.
the
Right.
Green
Right. Right.
Lantern,
Right.
all these guys, like it makes it seem like the universe is already lived in, right? So if it's already lived in, don't give me two movies of superpowered people being weak, right?
Hmm.
It could work if you already got threats going on and you already got a Justice League going on, right? If
Yeah.
you already got a Batman popping up in your Superman movie, or you already got a Flash popping up in your Superman movie, or a Wonder Woman popping up in your Superman movie, I'm like, okay, we getting the business, right? We getting the
Right.
business.
Right.
So this movie also needs to have a message that you're trying to send, just like I was saying with the messenger. It needs to have a message
Hmm.
of what this world is going to be. I didn't get that from the Superman movie.
Nah.
I didn't get that from the Supergirl movie. You know what I'm saying?
And is it me, or is it like the TV series of these characters were a lot better than the box office?
Because
Like,
they didn't have the minutia of trying to introduce you to this character anymore. I already
right.
know Batman. I already
Right.
know Superman. I already know the Flash. Like when a movie of the Flash comes up, they don't tell the origin of the Flash anymore. They got other characters that pop up. You got Mr. Pickalix popping up. And I'm like, who is
Where he
Mr.
come from?
Pickalix? Oh, yeah, exactly. Like this is where I'm interested in. I already know Superman. I already know Batman. You get what I'm saying? These
Yeah.
new people is bringing me into the story, right? They're bringing me into what's going on. And look, they got better villains than Lex Luthor. This Lex Luthor was just a petty,
He was. Oh, he was
whack
petty.
Lex Luthor, honestly.
Yeah, like he was like it's just like a big
Look,
baby,
the
like,
guy did a
almost,
great job acting. He did a great job acting,
Right,
but
right. I'll
come
give
on,
that
bro.
to him.
You got a guy who got a whole pocket dimension with people trapped in it. His ex-girlfriend trapped in it. Like this is
And
crazy.
nobody wonders where these people are. Now they kind of like mentioned, like, yeah, these people are in this pocket dimension, but I don't even remember if they got saved or not. Like, was the pocket,
No,
like,
a
did they
lot of
even?
people. He had a whole council of monkeys typing up bad stuff about Superman. That's
Yeah, that
silly,
was
bro.
crazy.
Like that. Like this is Lex Luthor, bro. Like this is Lex Luthor. He is smarter than this. You
Right,
gonna tell me that there's a clone of Superman in this universe already,
right.
and you using him to beat up Superman, and that's it?
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And then, that what I hate. I don't know. I try to make sense of you calling out like codes and whatnot, like R25 613. Like,
Right.
what? What are we doing? Like, I ain't understand it. So yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then you start trying to bring the real world into Superman. I get it. Superman is a Boy Scout. He's going to go and save the world wherever he can, even if there's a war going on across the world. But that to me, it's Superman. Give him
Yeah.
something to punch, man. Give him
Right.
something that's super world threatening. The war that's going on right now,
That's
I
why
don't want to
I like.
see it in my movies, bro. Like right
Right.
now, I just don't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of Henry Cavill's version, although, like, it was dark,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
but hell, at least he was,
Look, they
they
wasn't
made him
playing in
super.
that first movie, dog.
No, they
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 would. They
weren't.
look. You can't say they was because they was
Nah.
taking over Earth, bro. They was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
worried. They was
yeah.
like, look,
Like,
we
you had to
over.
put
We
his you put Superman back against the wall with that one. So, like, yeah,
right.
I
You
just
know
hate
what
that
I'm
everything was
saying?
like destroyed before he could, save everything. But yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Now
nuts.
look, man. Look, I understand you're trying to get this happy-go-lucky type of Superman, bro, but that Superman ain't leave no impact on me, bro.
It didn't.
And neither did Supergirl. And I mean, look, I would have been okay with Supergirl. They got good parts in Supergirl, but they got a lot of bad parts too.
Hmm.
Like they did it from a comic book series called The Woman of Tomorrow, and it's a recent run, and it's supposed to be one of Wonder Woman's best portrayals. But in the comics, but look, you trying to build a cinematic universe. You need to tie me to the movies, not just to the comic books. Don't
Right.
try to make everything exactly like how the comic books was. They had Lobo in it for no reason. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like Lobo did
Lobo
nothing.
should have been doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Lobo.
There was no actual like look, I don't have no problem with Supergirl, but they didn't introduce nothing that was worth Supergirl this whole movie. They basically she was saving another little girl from some guy named Krim, and he was supposed to be a space pirate, and it was very big inconsistencies. This guy Krim comes into the scene, right? And it's this blacksmith on this planet, and he makes the best weapons. Which that didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere because I thought that this guy making weapons was at least going to go somewhere, right? But it didn't.
Right.
He kills the dad, he kills the mom, he kills the brother, and he leaves the little girl. Now, this little girl wants revenge. So she takes one of her dad's sword and go to a bar and says, whoever's going to help me to get this guy Krim, I'm going to give him my dad's sword. It's made out of this super rare steel or whatever, you know? So Supergirl is there at this club or bar, and this planet has a red sun. So she's depowered. She's getting drunk. If you remember it at the end of Superman, she came back drunk because
Hmm.
she was on a planet with a red sun. So that right there is kind of like, okay, I could deal
Yeah.
with that for a little bit. But the
Right.
whole movie, though, the
Yeah.
whole movie,
Though you shouldn't be. You're not even super. You know what I'm saying? Just should be called girl. Like the fuck.
right?
Cat.
So then,
Kara.
then, then the whole time she
Kara.
don't want to help the little girl. The whole time she only want to help the little girl. What motivates her to go help the little girl is that this guy Krim that they're trying to chase steals Supergirl's spaceship and shoots a poisonous dart at Crypto Dog. Now we already had a plot of Crypto in the first movie, in Superman movie.
Right.
I ain't like that damn dog. That damn dog was just too
Right. He
damn
was the
too
dog
damn
was
bad.
fucking. The dog was annoying. The dog was annoying as fuck. Hey.
You know what I'm
He's on my
saying?
damn nerves. The only good thing I liked
And
about the
so
dog is he uses laser vision to help Superman. That's the only thing I like.
right. So then you got her saying, well, they take Crypto to some cryptic doctor or some Shaw woman that's an alien, and she's like, well, the only way to cure him from this poison is to get it from Krim, and he has to keep the antidote on his body at all times. What? This is Supergirl, bro. This isn't Batgirl. Like you get what I'm saying? Like this is Supergirl, right?
Yeah.
So we ain't gotta go on no mission to go and get an antidote for a dog. So
That's yeah.
that being said, she goes on a mission. She tells the girl, "No, you don't need to kill this guy because it's gonna be vengeance, and you don't need to get vengeance because you're never gonna forgive yourself, and this and that and the third." And then they go on this adventure. They run into Lobo. Lobo is chasing this guy too because he's got a bounty on his head, and they don't work together. They just have some banter with each other. And it's just like, hey, you're that girl. And she's like, you're that guy. And that's basically it. They go on their separate ways. They go to another planet, find out that the people that Krim is basically pirates. They have what is it called? They start putting some social justice stuff in there. I don't have no problem with that stuff if it makes sense. But this is where I'm kind of mad that it didn't make sense. These people are trafficking women, little girls, right?
Mm.
They're trafficking little girls. So you going to tell me at the beginning of the movie, this guy kills your whole family and don't take the little girl, but his whole job is to take little girls? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Wow.
So they try to make us feel bad for the bad guys. Like, not feel bad for the bad guys, but make us hate the bad guys because they're doing trafficking. But I was like, this makes no sense to me because
Yeah.
if that was the case, why didn't they just take the little girl in the first place? Because they're traffickers, right?
Right. Space traffickers. It's
Space
crazy.
traffickers. This whole time, this is battle going, this banter or like this hateration going on between Supergirl and this girl. Like, look, I don't want to be your Superwoman or Supergirl or something. Like,
Yeah.
you don't understand what I'm going through. And then she goes into the best part of the movie where she tells the backstory of how she became or how she got to where she was, which I never knew. This is something it sounded like was new to me from Superman, is that when Krypton blew up, the city, the main city in Krypton, actually broke off the planet. They had like rockets under that part of the city and they put a bubble around it. So this part of the work of Krypton was still floating in the earth. I mean, floating around after the planet blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And they lived their whole life on this planet for like years, for like 20 years or so, right?
Right.
She was born on that whole chunk of Krypton, and like over time, the kryptonite ended up poisoning and all the rest of the people because they didn't have, I guess, all the elements of Krypton. And so the dad just ends up sending her because he's cousins with Jor-El,
Mm-hmm.
sends her to Earth to go meet Superman, which that was interesting to me. Anyway, make a long story short,
It's not the
you know
story.
what I'm
No,
saying?
it's
Because
not. It's not the story I've heard. I mean, it changes up a lot. I don't know, but I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Make a long story short, she has no importance in this movie. That's my
Right.
point. Is that if she would have met Brainiac or something, or if she would have led to Brainiac, then I would have been like, okay, this makes
Okay,
sense
it
to
could
make
be
this
interesting. Right.
Supergirl movie, right? And she come back, you know, she fought Brainiac, couldn't beat him, and then she's like, I need Superman, right?
Right.
Or something.
And that would
Or
segue
she's
into a
not trying to.
second Superman movie.
That's
So
all I'm asking, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm
yeah,
asking.
yeah, I really think they could have did better with that. And I don't know. They do have this new Lantern movie coming out. Not a movie, it's a series or whatever.
Series,
So
right? Mm-hmm.
I'm still, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't.
Well, look,
I'm already good.
before we get out of here, man. I know I'm
Yeah,
taking up a lot of your time, but
yeah.
before we get out of here, we got to talk about this X-Men thing. Have you been watching X-Men '97?
I seen previews. I have not watched like it in its entirety yet, but I've seen previews, so I don't know too much
What, the
about
second
it. As
season,
in
or you haven't
the
seen
the
either
second
season?
season. I've seen the first season.
Okay,
The second season I haven't started yet, but I've seen previews
okay,
of the second season, and it definitely looks interesting. I do like the direction that Marvel is taking it, sort of like the Apocalypse timeline a little bit. And I've read back in the day, I did read like a lot of X-Men comics, and like of course, they have their variants of timelines as well. So like the Apocalypse timeline was very like different, like because yeah, he took over and then, of course, Rogue ended up with Magneto, Gambit died, and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I only know the bits and pieces though. I didn't know because I knew that Gambit became Apocalypse, one of his horsemen at one point. I didn't know how he got
Right,
there, but I do like
mm-hmm.
the fact that X-Men '97, like how Marvel is like telling that story. So it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, what's like your expectations of how you want the X Men to be portrayed, or the X Men to integrate with the Marvel universe?
I want them, first of all, I know like definitely recasting of like some of the characters like Wolverine. Don't get me wrong, I love Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is the GOAT, but we need a new Wolverine, preferably a little shorter. But like yeah, like I love that like
Is Wolverine your favorite X Men?
no, he is one of
Okay.
he's one up there. He's up there, but he's not my favorite. My favorite actually is Gambit and
Okay.
Iceman, Gambit, Storm, like and I love the. I mean, I'm starting to love Cyclops again. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember back in the day, like they used to trash Cyclops, and like Cyclops wasn't
Yeah.
him. You know what I'm saying? Like Cyclops
Right.
is he's the leader of the X-Men. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that like, they're giving him the respect he deserves,
Right. We
you know what
was
I'm
young
saying?
back in the day. We was young. We was hating on his Boy Scout ways, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we was hating
now that we
hard.
older, we see how hard it is to lead these young minded people.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, man. But I love I love the direction that they're taking with it. I really hope they that he has more play in the movie in Doomsday when it comes out. I really want to see because I love the fact they put him in the original his original uniform. Dope. I just want him. I want him to get more play. So I definitely want to see him in action when Doomsday come out. I love the fact that they introduced like some of the characters when in the ending of the Marvels. Like, you had Beast in there and stuff like that. So like we definitely need like, I want I don't want them to like, if they have to kill off Magneto and, and Professor X because I mean they old as shit in there, but like you know what I'm saying? Like I want them to at least use them a little bit. Like especially Magneto. Magneto shouldn't be going out the way he is
Right.
the way he's been going out lately. But if they have to do that to recreate a timeline to introduce new actors to play these roles, then like yo, I'm all for it. But I definitely want them to introduce more of the mutants. I love the fact that they got Channing Tatum back playing Gambit. You know what I'm saying? He's killing that role. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him and Shang-Chi go at it like that. I got just like a
Right.
taste of that fight scene. That fight scene is all that. So
So I
I'm
mean,
definitely looking forward to that.
I guess I guess I can. I guess I got the answer, but I don't know if what I was asking. I may need to reword it. Like, how would you want them
Yeah,
to integrate it to the Marvel MCU? Like, if you saying that they need to recast, like, how would they? How would you like to see them introduced other than from another universe? I guess because this Doomsday, they got the old Fox X-Men. What about the new X-Men? How would you want to
I think
see them?
I think Doomsday is going to be the ground zero. So
Uh,
it's going to be the ground zero of everything, like restart and refresh everything. How they're introducing these characters now is really good. Like how they like put bits and pieces in different movies and stuff like that, and introducing like that mutants are among us. The first one they introduced Miss Marvel, like what I'm saying, as a mutant. They introduced Namor as a mutant. So like just introducing the idea that mutants are amongst us, it's a good segue. Now you're like having these timelines where there were mutants in different timelines. And now you're having this incursions where you're like involving all of the timelines, and mutants are now it's going to be like one timeline at some point, and mutants are going to be there, which is pretty dope. I would definitely. I don't know what they did with Wanda, but I have a feeling that they have to involve her and bring her back at some point because, yeah, she's
I mean, they
also
got
like
Franklin Richards now.
mutant
They got
type.
Franklin, so
I would
they got
love to see
Franklin.
them
Franklin can
incorporate her
just
brother
remake stuff.
Quicksilver in that too. So just how they're introducing them now is great. I think again, Doomsday is going to be the blueprint to like their segue into the Marvel universe. So just gotta see what happens when watch Doomsday and see how they're putting these characters in. I even believe that even in like sometime maybe towards the end credits or whatever in Spider-Man, you may see some mutant activity involvement in that movie. So just to
Right.
put them all together will be really interesting to look forward to and watch.
I mean, you do got Franklin Richards. He can just do anything too. So
Mm.
Franklin Richards.
Yeah, yeah, Franklin. Yeah, I want to see how they're going to do him because he's going to be like the power of all powers. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how he's involved.
Okay. I mean, me personally, I think that. Have you ever watched like The Gifted, the show on FX?
Yeah, that's when they had like it was sort of like a X-Men type of thing where they like mutants and stuff
Mm.
like that. Yeah, I think
I think it
yeah,
was like they didn't have like all the original X Men in it, but it was like a
nah,
after X Men thing. Like,
yeah, they have Polaris in there.
yeah.
And they
Mm.
had somebody else in there, but not. But it's like you may seen some members that were maybe X Factor or X Force
Right,
or like
right,
some yeah. So yeah, I've seen that. Actually, me and my wife, we was like when it used to come on, that used to be the show we used to watch. It was really good. I don't know why
right. It was good, yeah.
it didn't have
Hmm.
a should have had more seasons, but yeah, it was really good.
I mean, I guess I asked that question because I think that if they are just going to restart everything, then maybe they should just go ahead and have it where I don't know if there'll be any remnants of the past. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If they're gonna after Secret Wars start over the MCU, would you be okay with them just starting over with another Captain America movie, another
I I think nah, no disrespect to Cap, the Avengers or whatever. I think we are now past the Avengers era, and it's now the MCU's time to introduce other Marvel characters. As like you got your X-Men, you got Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? Like put some of the Defenders in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, other group affiliates that should be like, that Marvel has created that, what I'm saying, needs to time to shine too. Granted, like I said, Avengers was, what I'm saying, the grand, table of Marvel characters, but like, you got some of these other characters that Marvel created, like, what I'm saying, that need time, what I'm saying? Like, don't sleep on Wonder Man. Wonder Man was pretty good. I want them to do more with Wonder
Yeah.
Man. I'm waiting for that time. I'm waiting for that season 2. You know what I'm saying? Bring back Moon Knight. You know what I'm saying? That was a good ass show. I don't know why they.
Yeah, Midnight Suns should have happened already,
Yeah,
bro.
Midnight Suns should
Midnight
be
Suns definitely.
happening. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got. You know what I'm saying? Don't drop
With
Blade.
Blade,
You need
Ghost, yeah,
Blade back.
Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon
Right.
Knight,
Yeah. So
bro.
all these other characters, they need time to shine. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like Avengers was great. You know what I'm saying? But I think they're coming. I think Doomsday should be the end of their era, and like now it's time to bring on some of these new Marvel characters that people don't know about, or that many people may not know about. Like that need some shine. So some of these, what I'm saying, we got to get the Phoenix Force in there. You know what I'm saying? Get some of these characters up there, some X Force and X Factor. I want to see, what I'm saying, Multiple Man and Silver Star.
Morph in live action.
More,
No,
yeah, right. So I think it's time for like some new blood in the Marvel universe to shine.
okay. Well, yeah. Look, I ain't gonna hold you too long, man.
Right.
I appreciate you talking with me, bro.
Yeah,
And we definitely
absolutely,
gotta do this again. Definitely gotta do this again.
absolutely,
You know
for
what I'm saying?
sure. Then,
I know you got your stuff going on. You finish your school,
hmm
and we gonna see how it goes from there. If you got anything you want to say to the people before you leave, you want them to follow you on anything or socials?
yeah, like you can follow me on TikTok, Dr. Holden Loaded, all one word. You can follow me on Instagram, Harlem Blue, the number 2. That's my Instagram. So you can follow me on
Yeah, this
that.
this man is a great cosplayer, man. He
Yeah,
definitely a great cosplayer.
for
He
sure.
be getting an A for effort. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, what I'm
saying?
saying, every Halloween, like my school, they always they know like I'm the big Marvel person, so they know I'm always gonna
Right,
come
right.
with some character. So yeah, definitely follow me on Harlem Blue 2, TikTok, Dr. Holden Loading. So yeah, and you can see me all on there and whatnot. So absolutely,
Yeah,
and
just like usual.
go see
Oh, my
Doomsday.
bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
Go
go
see
go see
Doomsday. Go
Doomsday.
see
Go see
Spider Man.
Doomsday and Spider
We
Man.
gon'
Yeah.
we definitely gonna if we have a chance, we'll talk about that after, what I'm saying, when we get back together, and definitely see where we moving forward with this.
Yeah, we should definitely
Just like
definitely we should definitely wrap after we see Spider Man and talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, look, we could definitely get into that one. So look, follow us on the socials just like normal. Go to danecomics.com. You can also check out my socials at PG_artwork. You want to check out more Fire Ruin, that's my book that we're working on. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Marvel DC Talk on the Dane Show. Just like normal, I will leave y'all with a quote. This quote, sometimes it be good, sometimes it be real empowering, sometimes it just is what it is. So here we go. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. And with that, peace.